On the news, Senate pushes to tackle sickle cell disorder as it seeks the establishment of sickle cell disorder and therapy centers in the 6 regions of the country.
It's something that will try to find succor for those who are suffering for this unfortunate ailment which they inherited from their parents.
Having committed $35 million to modular refinery in Brass, Bayelsa State by the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, House of Representatives resolves to investigate the abandonment of the project.
It appears today that we're a nation that will not only eat our profit, but will also eat her investment. This sector is the economic nerve of our country. That is the oil sector.
Plus, sale of land by individuals, especially traditional rulers to unverified persons, must stop. Kogi State House of Assembly resolves.
If this unlawful act is not urgently addressed, it may degenerate into widespread land disputes, communal conflict, and breakdown of public order, while also frustrating the long-term educational and developmental objective of the state in the region.
Good evening and welcome to NTA Parliamentary News. I am Ene Ojonuba. Report reaching us from the Red Chamber indicates that the Nigerian Senate is making a push to tackle sickle cell disorder as it seeks the establishment of sickle cell disorder and therapy centers in the 6 zones of the country. The aim of the proposed legislation, sponsored by Senator Sunday Katun, is to improve data collection and research as well as support education and assistance for patients.
It's something that will try to find succor for those who are suffering for this unfortunate ailment which they inherited from their parents.
Nigeria is identified as the epicenter of sickle cell disorder, as half of the annual 300,000 newborns with sickle cell are in Nigeria. Also, the House of Representatives has resolved to investigate the abandonment of a modular refinery in Brass, Bayelsa State, after $35 million have been committed to the project by the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, adopting a matter of urgent national importance by Representative Billy Osawaru. The House mandated its committees on petroleum resources, midstream and downstream to probe the deployment of public funds for the project without visible results.
This House is very concerned that despite this huge investment of $35 million, which is more than 50 billion naira today, and enough to fund fundamental components of the national budget, the proposed modular refinery that was to be known as Atlantic International Refinery and Petrochemical Limited was never set up.
It appears today that we're a nation that will not only eat our profit, but will also eat her investment. This sector is the economic nerve of our country. That is the oil sector. Attempts have been made to continue to improve this sector, but you find out that those of us in public office appear to be setting this country back.
The House also highlighted alleged local content violations by oil and gas companies in Imo State, including perceived insensitivity to the plight of host communities.
Failure to establish functional operational offices within their areas of operation in Imo State, as mandated by Section 3J of the Act 2010, thereby denying the state by valuable economic activity and employment. To urge the oil and gas companies operating in Imo State to urgently comply with 1, provisions of Nigerian Oil and Gas Industry Content Act 2010 regarding indigenous employment, contract awards, and establishment of operational offices. Also engage in genuine dialogue with host community leaders to address grievances and ensure peaceful existence.
The House resolved to invite the affected companies and relevant agencies for an investigation. The chairman and 2 commissioner nominees of the National Population Commission have pledged to provide Nigeria with a credible, accurate, and dependable census figure for economic planning when eventually confirmed by the Senate. The issue of accurate data for national planning resonated during the screening, which has been a lingering challenge to the national demography and cartography, as the nominees assured of deploying their experience and expertise.
The duty of the National Population Commission informs national development plans, policy decisions, and allocation of resources.
Census is very, very important in planning, economic planning. Whatever you want to do, if you don't have an accurate data, there is no way you can plan very well and succeed.
The nominees are Aminu Yusuf from Niger State as chairman, Joseph Kigbo and Tunga Bularafa from Nasarawa and Yobe State as commissioner nominees. It would be recalled that Nigeria's last census was conducted in 2006. In the meantime, the Senate will on Thursday, the 16th of October 2025, conduct the screening of the nominee of President Bola Tinubu, Professor Joash Ojo Amupitan San, as Chairman, Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. This is contained in a statement signed by the Director of Information, Office of the Secretary, Research and Information of the Senate, Bula Audu by Allah. The exercise is scheduled to hold at the Senate Chamber, National Assembly Complex. The House of Representatives has stated its determination to find a middle ground in the industrial disputes between the federal government and the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU. The House therefore tasked an ad hoc committee led by Speaker Abbas Tajuddin to wade into the impasse and find a lasting solution, as well as facilitate suspension of the 2-week strike declared by ASU. National Assembly correspondent Mitari Ikpen has details.
Urgent need to...
Lawmakers are concerned that ASU's 2-week warning strike could snowball into a bigger crisis that will deepen the frustrations of students, parents, and lecturers. They warn that time is of the essence to broker a deal between the federal government and ASU.
The House urged both parties to exercise restraint, embrace constructive dialogue, and prioritize the interests of students and national development above all other considerations.
Meanwhile, the House resolved to investigate a petition brought against the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board over age restriction policy.
For enforcing an illegal and arbitrary admission age restriction policy in contempt of the judgments of 2 superior courts of records, in disregard for the fundamental rights of affected candidates, and a resolution of the House of Representatives.
To expand maritime infrastructure and boost the blue economy in line with the renewed hope agenda of the federal government, lawmakers advocate more deep-sea ports.
Urge the federal government, through Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy and other relevant agencies, to initiate a collaborative framework with the government of Akwa Ibom State for the establishment and realization of the Ibom deep sea ports that could attract investment worth over $5.6 billion.
Following renewed bandit attacks in parts of Sokoto State, the House called for intensified military onslaught.
Urge the Nigerian Armed Forces to immediately reinforce deployment and enhance joint operations in Kuchi area of Kebe-Tambuwal local government to secure lives, property, and farmlands. Mandate the committees on ECOWAS Parliament and Foreign Affairs to help normalize relations with neighboring states, especially the Niger Republic, to enable cross-border intelligence sharing.
Governor Uba Sani of Kaduna State was in plenary to witness the formal defection of 3 lawmakers from his state who left the PDP for APC. From the National Assembly, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
Still on education, the House of Representatives Joint Committee on Certificate Racketeering has taken campaigns to public and private institutions of learning in Lagos State as another step to address the disturbing trend among Nigerian students. National Assembly correspondent Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports that the oversight exposed how admission is given to part-time students by passing test standard by JAMB. His reports.
Cases of alleged certificate racketeering among Nigerian students in conjunction with some university staff prompted this investigation by the House of Representatives. The Yaba College of Technology was the first port of call to look at the admission process and certificates being obtained by students.
Nigerian graduate from any university can excel in any part of the world. We are very, very proud of that. Therefore, we will not allow some few individuals, lazy elements with criminal minds, to spoil the good name of Nigeria.
The management of the institution demonstrated the need for improved technology to address the trend.
We even have those who will give fake admissions to students. But our system detects them, and before you can go anywhere, such students are sent out of the college.
The committee also visited the University of Lagos.
Types of certificate racketeering or frauds that you've had, if you could supply us with that information.
I think last year we got a message from Canada that there was a syndicate outside there that was producing University of Lagos certificates. So we took that to the DSS and we started the investigation. And we identified, so we came back home. Of course, anything that you find there, somebody will be inside here. So we found that 2 people were compromised inside our system.
While at Caleb University, committee members explained that the oversight is not for witch hunt, but tackling a national disaster. The oversight visit continues with other higher institutions. From Lagos, Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
We now pause for some messages. Parliamentary news continues shortly after the break. Do stay with us.
Are you looking for a short channel to make your business, goods and services go viral? Look no further, as NTA Parliament is your short channel. Take advantage of our wider reach and advertise your products and services on NTA Parliament DSTV channel 370, GoTV channel 126, StarTimes channel 306, and Free TV channel 706. For more inquiries, contact the marketing department, NTA Parliament, NTA Headquarters Area 11 Garki Abuja, or call these numbers 080-383-40464 or 080-770-78055. NTA Parliament, strengthening Nigeria's democracy.
Thank you for staying with us. If you are just joining us, this is Parliamentary News reaching you from NTA Parliament, Abuja. You can follow the platforms on the screen for more updates. The House of Representatives says more legislations are underway to accelerate the growth of Nigeria's downstream petroleum industry. This was at the opening of the maiden annual Downstream Petroleum Week organized by the House in Abuja. National Assembly correspondent Mitari Ikpen reports.
The conference brought together industry players to share perspectives on sectoral challenges and develop practical solutions. Everyone applauds the significant progress Nigeria has made in the quest to refine its crude oil and consume what is refined, hence the advocacy for enabling laws to ramp up domestic refining capacity.
Nigerians therefore expect certain deliverables from this conference, especially as they concern the prevalent infrastructure deficit, solutions to energy security issues, pipeline vandalism, and dubious pricing.
To address this, the House Committee on Petroleum Resources Downstream intends to pursue new legislative measures to grant local refineries first right of refusal on crude allocation, streamline regulations to remove all unnecessary delay, assist the House to develop a refinery protection and promotion bill to classify refineries, whether modular or big refineries, as strategic national assets, ensuring they receive priority protection and support.
A separate public hearing by the House Committee on Agricultural Production and Services focused on 3 bills to amend the National Agricultural Development Fund Establishment Act, another to establish the National Farm Settlements Agency, and a third bill to establish a National Rice Production, Processing and Research Institute in Argungu, Kebbi State.
It's not a bad idea, but I think we need to also look at existing framework and ensure that we are not duplicating.
Requesting the formal inclusion of the Nigeria Youth in Agri-Tech and Innovation Program.
We have suggested broadening the financing powers of the fund to allow for equity investments.
We will continue to collaborate with the executive relevant agencies and the private sector to make agriculture a business that drives national prosperity.
Memoranda submitted sought increased funding of existing agricultural institutions to boost productivity and food security. From the National Assembly, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
Stakeholders are calling for diversification of the economy through commerce, industry and entrepreneurs HIP to boost Nigeria's gross domestic product (GDP). This was during a public hearing by House of Representatives Committee on Commerce and 10 related bills in the establishment of Chartered Institute of Entrepreneurs HIP. National Assembly correspondent Issa Mohammed has more.
Contributions at the public hearing focused on professionalism, diversification of the economy, and promotion of entrepreneurship through the Chartered Institutes.
An act to establish the Chartered Institute of Nigerian University Professionals Administrators, ANOPA, charged with the professionality of advancing the study, training, and practice of university administration, determine the standard of knowledge and skills to be attained by a person seeking for membership.
By recognizing university administration as a professional field, requiring regulation, ethical standards, and continuing professional development.
Seeks to establish the Institute of Chartered Biochemists and Molecular Biologists of Nigeria as a corporate body with powers to determine standards of knowledge and skill, register qualified professionals, regulate and control their practice, review standards periodically, and perform other related functions.
Support for the establishment of the National Institute of Chartered Biochemists and Microbiologists, not as a research center alone, but as a strategic investment in Nigeria's economic growth, public health, innovation, and national sovereignty.
The proposed bills are seeking to establish a Chartered Institute of Expertise Financial Analysis of Nigeria, National Institute of Marketing of Nigeria, Chartered Institute of Entrepreneurship Management, Chartered Institute of Entrepreneurship Consultant of Nigeria, and Enterprises Management of Nigeria, among other bodies.
As a parliament, we will assemble all the diverse opinions as it concerns each of the bills, which will guide the House in taking informed decisions and possible passage of the bills into acts.
The committee pledges to do justice in digesting inputs from the public hearing. From the National Assembly, Issa Muhammad, NTA News.
Sale of land by individuals, especially traditional rulers, to unverified persons in Kogi State must be stopped. Even security in the state is to be addressed. This is the resolution of the Kogi State House of Assembly at plenary when a motion of urgent importance bordering on alleged sale of reverse community lands by some traditional rulers in Kogi, Kotonkerfi local government area. Jacob Sani reports that the Speaker of the House, Aliyu Umar Yusuf, thereafter constituted an ad hoc committee to look into the matter.
Mover of the motion, who is the member representing Kogi State constituency, Idris Mekudi, informed the House that the reserved community land meant for public infrastructural development along the Chikara, a border community with Abuja in the Federal Capital Territory, was sold out by some traditional rulers in the communities.
If this unlawful act is not urgently addressed, it may degenerate into widespread land disputes, communal conflict, and breakdown of public order, while also frustrating the long-term educational and developmental objective of the state in the region.
In their various contributions, lawmakers suggest that the indiscriminate sales of lands to unfamiliar people is causing insecurity in the state. The House resolves to set up an ad hoc committee to investigate the allegation. Speaker Ali Umar Yusuf thereafter announces an ad hoc committee to investigate the matter.
Honorable Abu Honorable Chairman, other members, Honorable Major Enefula, Honorable Prince Bode Ogumala, Honorable Idris Ali, Honorable Musa Hassan Yakub, and the clerk of this committee will be our able deputy clerk.
The committee is to liaise with the Ohimege Ibukoto Karifi and other relevant stakeholders for proper diligence. The committee has 3 months to complete the assignment and submit its report. Meanwhile, the House also resolves to write a letter to the executive arm of government on its measures to curb all forms of vices in Kogi State. This followed a motion raised by the Chairman House Committee on Security, Major Enefola. The House at plenary also applauds effort of security agencies in the state for being proactive in the discharge of their duties. Jacob Sani, NTA News.
In another development, the Delta State Governor Sheriff Oborewari has sent a letter to the State House of Assembly containing the Fiscal Strategy Paper, FSP, 2026 to 2028. Godfrey Nzukwe reports that the Chairman House Committee on Rules, Business and Judiciary, Spencer Owofa, also presented the committee's report on the Delta State Anti-Terrorism and Anti-Cultism Amendment Bill 2025, House Bill 38.
The Delta State Fiscal Strategy Paper, FSP 2026-2028, serves as the foundation for the formulation of the 2026 fiscal year budget. It comprises 4 key components: the medium-term expenditure framework, the fiscal strategy paper, the economic and fiscal update, and the budget policy statement, which provides a comprehensive framework for budget planning and preparation, incorporating economic and fiscal analysis, assessment of past and current budget performance, and identification of key factors influencing implementation. The Speaker further gave a breakdown of the macroeconomic framework and the indicative 3-year fiscal framework for the period 2026 to 2028.
The 3-year fiscal framework for the period 2026 to 2028. Recurrent revenue. Opening balance is put at 53,150,000,000 naira, while 2026 is put at 30 billion naira, 2027 30 billion, and 2028 30 billion. Statutory allocation stroke net derivation is put at 621,854,276,721. That's for 2025. While 2026 is put at 1,239,231,208,777 naira. 2027 is put at 1,276,408,145,042 naira.
Thereafter, the Chairman, House Committee on Rules, Business and Judiciary, Spencer Owofa, presented the committee's report on the Delta State Anti-Terrorism and Anti-Cultism Amendment Bill 2025, House Bill 38.
The committee met severally and meticulously examined the bill clause by clause. Mr. Speaker, having carefully and thoroughly considered the bill, The committee is of the view that the bill be amended in the manner stated in the Annex for consideration and passage by this honorable House.
In Asaba, Godfrey Nzekwe, NTA News.
This is where we draw the curtain on parliamentary news for this evening. For more updates, kindly follow NTA Parliament on the platforms showing on your screen. Thank you for staying tuned. Once again, I am Ene Ojonuba. Bye for now.